Hi everybody, and welcome back to my living room. So today I'd like to talk about talent versus skill, and also how you can learn how to learn. It's it's kind of a daunting task. It's not really that big a deal. Learning is something we've all been doing since we were small children, but it's it's hard sometimes. Like, people think that if something is just outside your knowledge, you just are never going to be able to do it for some crazy reason. And I wanted to work on that with you guys. Anyway, as last time, I'm having a nice cup of coffee. Why don't you guys go ahead, pause the video, make yourself one cup of tea, grab a beer, whatever you feel. At any rate, I'll be right here. See you when you get back. So, talent versus skill is really kind of a hot button issue for me. I don't think that talent as people understand it actually exists, right? Like, people say, oh my god, you're so talented at anything, that they're not willing to put in the effort to learn. But really, it's a way of limiting themselves, right? Like, I wasn't born with the ability to carve wood. I don't have chisels for fingers. It's a skill and a tool set that I had to learn how to use, and it took time. Not long, not as long as people would think, especially at my skill level, because honestly, I'm just starting out. But still, it takes time. So that said, if talent isn't really a thing, if it's just something that we kind of use to say that we're not up to a task, then everything else must be skills, right? I mean, skills are easy. Skills you learn, and learning is actually pretty easy once you know how to do it too. I'm not going to say I've cracked the code and have a super secret, but I have a system that works well for me, and I'm going to tell it to you later on in the video. It works so well for me that the Dice Tower project, as I mentioned before, had elements of stuff on it like this, and this carving on the back here, that I hadn't done previous to this project, really. I just never tried to. It was not something that I thought about doing. But then I got that project going and was like, hey, that could be cool to integrate into there. I've never done it. I'm going to have to mess with it a little bit, but it still would be super awesome. So what do I need to do it? I went out and I learned. And let's get into that. I'll take a minute and I'll tell you about my process. So this is going to be vastly different for everyone, really, because everyone has different learning styles. But what this process does is covers lots of those styles repeatedly. So if you're a visual learner, you're going to get a visual thing. If you learn by reading or doing, those are both also in there. If you learn by telling, you're going to have to insert that somewhere, and I'm going to recommend just anywhere, actually. But the other part of it is repetition. This you're going to repeat the learning process for every step of this, just in a different way, so that you get more and more experience and you build up to a better knowledge of what you're doing. So the first step, the most crucial step, is to identify specifically the tiny little bit of knowledge that you want to gain here. You want to cut it down into a bite-sized chunk, something you can learn in an afternoon, right? Just real quick stuff. Like with this. This looks very fantastic and cool, and people think it's much more complicated than it is, but honestly, it's just cutting a hole, just scoring a line, and then driving the metal down in and grinding it flush. It's not hard. But it's real small stuff you can pick up in an afternoon. That's what you want to target. And if you have a bigger topic you want to learn, then just keep cutting it down into smaller chunks until you've got something that you can go, okay, today I'm learning this chunk right here. The next step is to read about it, right? Go out and find some blogs, some books, Instructables are great, whatever, anything written. Because written, it lets you form the idea of what's going on in your head before you actually see it, interact with it, or anything like that. This is just to build a kind of loose concept of what's going on, right? This step can be skipped. It's not super important, but it makes the next step a lot easier. That step is to listen to and watch someone do it, right? So this is where you go find videos on YouTube, you take an online class, or even an offline class, or anything like that. Hell, even finding a friend that knows how to do the thing and will tell you, that's a valuable thing. That helps you take the concept that you kind of got a loose idea of in the last step, make it solid, break away any of the misinformation that builds up when you try to just read about something. Because, like, people just say stuff, right? They don't actually... Most people are just talking out their ass most of the time. Myself included. I'm not special here. But... so a bunch of what you're going to get in step 2 is going to be misinformation. And having someone who has experience with the topic tell you their experiences about it and show you how to do it the right way, at least according to them, is going to help clear away some of that. It won't get it all, but it'll do a good job of clearing it up a lot. The fourth step is to do it. Now, I'm not going to say practice, because when people say practice, what they mean is just doing the thing over and over and over again the same way, as if that's going to make it different. But it's not. You're just repeating the same mistakes and solidifying those mistakes inside your concept of how this works. And that will hurt you long run. So I'm not going to use the word practice. However, you do need to do the thing. And you're probably going to fail at it the first time. At least the first time. And that's okay. Really. I mean, that's the whole point, actually, of doing the thing this first time. This should be not part of the finished piece you want to make, or part of whatever the final goal is. This should be a trial run, basically. Because what you're doing is you are allowing yourself in a controlled environment to fail, and then finding out what those failures are and how to prevent them in the future. The next step, kind of quasi-final step, is to review it. So you're going to take those failures from step 4. You're almost guaranteed to have one, and if you don't, fantastic, good job, you win. But if you do, we're going to analyze them. We're gonna find out what's wrong with this thing, how to avoid making the same mistakes, how to do things better the next time. And the next time will be when you maybe get it right. Maybe you don't. Maybe you got to do this over and over again. And that's okay too. As long as you're learning. That's the whole point here. It may be frustrating if it goes on long enough, but you just got to stick with it and you'll get it. This is the hard part. That's the key here, is to repeat these last 2 steps until you are satisfied with what you're doing. Not other people, but you. But speaking of other people, as part of that analysis, it is super valuable to show what you are trying to learn to other people. Get more input. Get people to tell you what they think you could do better. Most of the time, people mean well. They're going to be very polite most of the time, and that's good. That's super good. But they're going to also some will try to tear you down, because that's how they make themselves feel good. That's sad. But well, later. Some will try to build you up just because you're trying something cool, but not to give you any useful feedback. And that's good too, really. And then finally, some people, you're going to look at like 10% of everyone you show this to for this. Those people are going to either have a decent idea of how to push forward for you or have experience in your topic, and those people will show you how to improve. So it's really important to get lots of feedback from everybody you can, just to see what you can learn that you missed in your own analysis. So sometimes you're going to finish steps 2 and 3, the read and listen and watch. You're going to feel kind of confused. And that's the point where maybe you need to repeat those. But there is value in trying it anyway. Just move on to doing the thing. And, well, you're really most likely going to fail in that case. What it'll do is it'll show you what parts of the concept that you had wrong, that you were confused about, and why you were confused there. And, yeah. Learning's fun. Learning should always be fun. It should always be something you're excited about, I think. I mean, that's just me. Maybe it's not for everyone, just like everything else, but to each their own, right? At any rate, I really need to work on my outro, but since I just said that on camera, if you're enjoying what I'm doing, go ahead, leave a like, leave me a comment. I will respond to everybody commenting, by the way, because I got nothing better to do. I got like 7 people subscribed. I can answer all you guys. Go ahead, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And if you're not getting my notifications, awesome, hit the notification bell. And yeah, I'm going to work on that. That was kind of awkward, but I'll see you next time.